See, it's one more for the Mosses. Tiffany Moss, Iman Moss, Emani, Gabrielle Moss. Okay, universe. This one, is this it? It's jumping out. Is this it? Yes, it's jumping out. I don't know the number. It's jumping out because they treated the baby ugliest thing. They act ugliest thing to the baby. It was jumping out. So let's just say, I don't know what the number is. Let's just flow. I have no idea. Let's just flow, universe. 7. Right here, 7. Where you at, number 7? I'm trying. Okay, we have okay, this is 7. Already said what it means when you hurt someone to the core. They killed the baby. So let's see. This is real life. I'm saying it wrong. You know I'm getting a little tired when I start messing up. I don't like messing up. This is too important. Somebody was penny pinching and it was real. Okay, somebody is going down the hall, some kind of drug treatment. Might have been happening outside or right now and in jail. Somebody was amazed that she is acting a little spicy, or she is amazed that her husband was acting a little spicy, or Mrs. Moss was amazed that little Emani was acting a little spicy, however it's flowing, or somebody in jail. Okay, she is hell-bent on destruction. Mrs. Moss. Okay, it says right here, I'm sure I'm going to be available. So some kind of way with her husband or what was going on. She wanted him to be available with something. Okay. But daily life made people rethink and think of things that you had forgotten and you need to seek, because it was said that she treated the baby like the baby was nothing. And she also treated her husband like that too. He just was somebody to bring money in because she was banking on him. So it says right here, being treated harshly by others. So she might be being treated harshly by others in the jailhouse, so she know how it feel to mistreat now. Or she did that to Emani. She looked at somebody as easy, or wanted somebody to see her as easy, as nice in the jail. But maybe little Emani wanted her to look at her that way too, that she was a nice person, because she treated little Emani like stink. And her father did also when he went to burn his daughter. It was time for him to stop settling, God says, right? You hear the children in the background, that could represent little Emani, okay? We grow like plants, and he needed to grow because somebody was taking some kind of pills, a barrel crack, or some kind of drug. Somebody, one of them dealing with in jail, one of them in jail, one of them out here, anything like that, when he was out here. He needed to have a stable mind, a father or the mother. How much would it take for him to change, or for his wife to change when they was out here or now? Because help was coming. He needed to stop thinking he deserved abuse from his wife, or she needed to stop thinking that little Emani deserved abuse from her, and help was coming. Her husband was coming home soon. Or she needed to call for help because she left little Emani out in the cold. She did, and her husband did. Maybe she liked the color coral or Emani. Right? Or maybe right now in jail, she needs some kind of help, but help is coming for her or her husband. On a Tuesday, maybe something happened when they was free or in jail. She's going to be a go-getter, and she went to get Emani. Follow me? Okay, it says right here that, or she wanted her husband to back then. She's sustaining herself at a shelter. Back then, Emani went to this house, and this house was a new house. It wasn't the original house she was living in, so to her it was like a new house. Follow me? Whenever she went there, somebody was anxious and the other one was mellow. Let's flow. Let's just, hopefully this is the last one, because she in jail. So this lady, so we have a Dusty. So the Dusty is her husband. Even though her husband was working, he was a Dusty because he didn't come up to par he wasn't all the way, he wasn't wearing his pants like he should have as a man. He let this lady just do whatever. He let this lady discard his daughter and kill his baby, and then he just did the rest. He didn't say, I don't think so, like he should have. Follow me? He didn't do that. In a reasonable voice, he talked to her, just like probably how he talked on the witness stand, and he didn't talk like he should have. Was suitable for him now in a reasonable voice. Yeah, he didn't talk to her like he should have, because Amira was meant to tell him the truth that he was dealing with a monster, right? And he needed to look with both eyes and see that his baby was laying dead on the floor, wherever she was. He had both of them to each other. Call me soon, you're in my dreams. For right now, for them, he in the jail, she in the jail. That means, call me if you can call me over here in this jail, or come in my dreams. Follow me? And I feel like that would be him. Because he seemed to be crazy about this lady. Too crazy about this lady, where he sit there and let this lady do all this damage to his child like this. I know he was disconnected and he didn't know his child like he should have, because he just got custody whenever he did of his own child. So he didn't have the deep love. He didn't have the love, period. He didn't have the love, period, for his child. Period. Okay? I don't care. You can sit and say he loved his child from now and the next year. I put $1 million in the middle of this table and I lose $1 million on that thing. He didn't love his daughter. He didn't love his daughter. He didn't know his daughter, first of all. No more innocence. He is God for him. No more innocence. God saying he needed to take charge back then. Be competitive and able for him to gain. Follow me? Instead of just running to work and giving your bosses all your time and being competitive. Do it at home. Either he liked the color coral, or his wife did, or little Emani liked it. But he left his daughter in the cold when he left his daughter back with this lady, his wife. And his wife definitely left his daughter in the cold. Follow me? Let me see. Okay, here it is. I have to find it. Okay, it says right here that neither one of them was valuing others, wasn't valuing Emani. Newsflash, you need to value Emani. Okay, it says right here, maybe he was trying to save some money at the time, or his wife wanted to save some money. So maybe by Emani coming, that kind of came in the middle of them trying to save, because there's penny pinching, trying to get money together. I don't know. But anyway, or she required them, they had to spend money on her, or whatever it might have been. It says, do you love your wife? And he did love his wife. He loved his wife to death. He loved his wife. He definitely showed he loved his wife. Okay, there's noise here, I know, but bear with me. I'm trying to finish it up. Okay, you'll go get her now. Go get him or her. So on a Tuesday, it don't have to be a Tuesday, but any day of the week. Here's a go getter, and here's gonna go get him or her. So for him, with this storyline, with this saying this right here, I feel like do he love his wife? And he loved his wife, so on whatever day of the week he took the baby somewhere, he's gonna go get the baby and take the baby wherever his wife said take the baby. And that's what he did. Okay? He need to look in the mirror, because a mirror is meant to tell him the truth, God says. Right here, show him the truth. Right? And look with both his eyes so he can see. It's after 8 and children out there in the dark. Oh my goodness. It could have been after 8 when she did something. After 8 at night. It's after 8. Okay? She could have been making some noise, but she was being starved. See, they treated her ugly as stink, starting with her stepmother, because if the father didn't, see, here's another card, discarded others, discarded her. She might have said no to something, or she wasn't moving fast enough to something, whatever it was. She didn't want to do something or whatever. Her father needed to revamp. I see the card. He needed to revamp as far as work. Stop working so much, change his hours or something, so he could have time with his child. his Mrs. Moss didn't want no more excuses. Excuse her French. She didn't want no excuses out of Emani right here. Okay, here it is again. See, all of it is negative. Treating Emani ugly as stink. Treating her like nothing right here. Being treated harshly by others. See, all of it is negative. She wasn't treated right in that household. She is dealing with a bureaucrat who was taking some kind of drugs. So this lady, Miss Tiffany Moss, was a bureaucrat taking some kind of drug. If it's down to snorting right here on this table, follow me. Whatever it was, the death of anything that did not serve her, she was going to make happen. Get what this card just say: the death of anything that did not serve her. Tiffany Moss, whatever did not serve her. And that would be Emani Moss. Didn't serve her. It ain't serve no purpose for her. A relation of anything that kills her emotions and her hopes. A death had to come to her. Get what the card's saying. How much will it take for her to change, God says, for her to change the ways of her being, treating this baby like garbage over here, for her to have a stable mind. Okay, it says right here that she is sustaining herself at a shelter. Now, the shelter just means you somewhere where it's not your home. So Emani moved in this house, but so it's coming out like this because that wasn't her original home. She got moved there. See what I mean? So it's coming out this way, okay? But right now, Mrs. Moss and Mr. Moss is inside a place that is not their original home. They in jail. We can take it that way also. Okay. Emani was wondering, did Mrs. Moss really even cared about her? Follow me? It says she's stepping in a nightlight with a sage. So Mrs. Moss might have been a sage, adventurous like a sage. She is stepping into the nightlight with a sage. Maybe she went out with somebody who was sage to celebrate, to have fun, anything like that. Okay, who's proud of her? Emani, her teachers. Seem like her teachers, her other family member would be proud of her because she is wonderful. Okay, somebody asked Mrs. Moss maybe back then, was she available? And she said she was sure because she went out with somebody. She went out to have a good time. Okay, right here. We got a man. So usually the man is treating somebody animalistic, controlling, but got to turn it around, remember, because she wear the pants in this house. So we're going to put this as her husband, unless some other man was somewhere mistreating her. Follow me? Somebody was animalistic to her, fighting her, controlling, talking down to her, anything like that. Follow me? Or somebody was toward her husband somewhere. So it could be in the jailhouse, somebody doing this to her, or before the jailhouse. I don't know. Or somebody to her husband. Take it how it goes. Call me soon, you in my dreams. She want her husband to call her, or her husband want her to call because they dreaming about each other, anything like that. Okay, it says right here that she was chipping away at little Emani, but Emani was a pioneer. Okay, something happened in the middle of the night some kind of way. It don't have to be the middle of the night, just the AM. So it could go all the way up until 11 something AM. Whenever it was the AM. Any deterrent that causes a dysfunction, she needed to get away from Mrs. Moss. Okay, because it says she is in a war zone because she had a relapse. So she is amazed that little Emani was acting a little spicy, or little Emani was surprised that she was amazed that she was acting spicy, or she was out somewhere with somebody, or some kind of way somebody she dealing with somebody in jail with something happening, anything like that. Okay, she had to, it says, do it, somebody worked in, she worked in her actions to show that she didn't love Emani and her father either. Or somebody, some guy in this jail or wherever, showing in his actions he don't care about her. Or somebody else in jail, however it's going. Okay, or somebody on the outside, because it says a dusty. She is dealing with a dusty. Okay, will this person come up to par? So somebody in jail is the dusty, a guard, an officer, or somebody like that. Or a janitor in jail. If it's not any of those, it's somebody on the outside that wasn't her husband, that she might have been dealing with on the side. If not that, we dealing with her husband in general. Even though he had a job, he would be a dusty because he not coming up to par. And coming up to par is being strong like he should, taking charge like he should. It makes you look down on the person, follow me? And she looked down on her husband because he wasn't being the man he should have been. She didn't respect her husband. Okay, it says right here, she wanted joint custody and she wanted her husband to be courteous, follow me? In the decision she made in the house as far as after she killed his daughter. Before, she ain't caring about his permission for anything, or we got this in jail because we got the white life. So this could be jail, somebody in jail, whoever is an officer or somebody, but I don't see an officer card, but I'm just saying somebody. Or joint custody, courteous, white life. This could go with her within court also. Wanting the judge to go along with her, be courteous, have joint custody, where she was on the battlefield in court and she wanted to take charge, be submissive, be in charge, follow me? Or was a white person, follow me? Could have been her trying to be her own lawyer right there, maybe. But God saying it was time for her to see, because God saying she battling back to back. Look at this, back to back. Or she dealing with some guard in jail, maybe, that's giving her a hard time. That's a white person, follow me? Want her to be submissive, anything like that. Okay, let's flow. She might have got anxious from whoever this person is, and the person was mellow. Or maybe in court some kind of way she got anxious while somebody in court was mellow, maybe a lawyer. I don't know. Let me just flow a little bit so I can see what this one. Okay, we got a drug card and an infection card. So we got infection or drug. So we got passing off of infection or drug, either in jail or out of jail, however it's flowing. Infection or drug, follow me? So we got more than one infection. We got sexual infections and we got COVID going on. Or we got a drug, however it's going. In jail or out of jail. Anyway, see? Hopefully that's the last one. I'm trying to end it. So we have right here that she had to stop thinking that others knew more than her, but that ain't her. This would be her husband, because she just knew this and knew that. Or unless she was trying to, and that's just her trying to be her own lawyer. Let me see. This could be her right here, but I can use it for her husband too. Let me just say it. She is going to stop thinking others knew more than her because she felt she knew just as much. So she's going to be up here and take charge up here. She wanted joint custody up here with the judge, give her permission, right, to go ahead and be her own lawyer, anything like that. She is needing more but not doing enough to make it happen, because she wasn't even doing a bunch of talking up there to be her own lawyer. But as far as her husband, he need to stop thinking that others knew more than him, and that would be his wife. Because he is needing more but not doing enough to make it happen. not talking up for himself, not being a man of the house. He just went to work all the time, and that's all he did, and let her wear the pants home. Okay, because knowing all money is green. So he just was running to work. Follow me? All money green. Just running to work, getting money. He needed to look her eye to eye, contact, no biting his tongue, and go straight to the point with his wife, but he didn't. Here it is right here, because she was hell-bent on destruction toward his little girl. Or somebody with her in jail, some guy, some guard or whoever, or the courts or whoever, or her husband going through something in jail, or this is, like I say, her against this baby. Okay, she had to wrap it up every time. As far as trying to win her own case, she had to wrap it up every time. And her family was praying for her. Or if we dealing with anything as far as anything sexual in jail, right here with infection, if it go that way, she is going to wrap it up every time, or somebody was going to wrap it up every time, or her husband was going to wrap it up every time. We got to go all kind of directions with the cards. So it says in a reasonable voice was suitable for her husband back then. He need to open his mouth and talk to his wife and be the man of his house, because she's treating him like a dusty, didn't have respect for him. Follow me? When a reasonable voice, she is going to be wrapping it up every time. When it came down to defending herself at court, being her own lawyer. Because she is arrogant. Okay, so tell a secret. A man gonna tell a secret. The brass love in this storyline is a secret. A man gonna tell a secret. And we got little Emani in the spirit. If she could tell a secret. Is it a secret, Emani, that you can tell? Or God just gonna give it to the brass love on this table? Or is in this storyline? Or it's actually just in this, all the storylines I did so far? Let's just flow. Daily life make people rethink. Think of things that they have forgotten and they need to change. Okay, we got somebody cross-dressing. Okay, there's a secret. Okay, this caught me off guard. So, home, some kind of way, somebody was cross-dressing and somebody was caught off guard. Or in jail. Follow me. Get what it's saying. What I just said. Home, somebody was cross-dressing, or in jail. Get what I just said. This caught me off guard. This caught the other person off guard. It caught the other spouse off guard. Get what I'm saying? So I can take cross-dressing as far as any kind of disguise you got on. You can put on some uniform. Follow me? It caught the other person off guard. Okay. God wanted Emani to be that butterfly and get to her focus point. But his wife wanted to get to her focus point and be the butterfly. Because she took her husband as easy and she banked on it. So the cross-dressing actually could be in jail. One of them is gay in jail now. Follow me? It's going to catch the other one off guard. Because really, the person was gay all the time. Get what it's saying? The person was gay all the time. Did you hear what I said? The person was gay all the time, but being in jail was just bringing it out. Get what I'm saying? Cross-dressing. They changing up how they looking some kind of way. Some kind of way it's coming out. Okay, we got food. We got meat with sauce on it. So we have looking at her husband back then. It's easy. She could bank on her husband. We got food with sauce on it. Meat, to be exact. So she might have gave Emani, whenever she gave her something, meat with sauce on it. And you can put anything inside of foods. Or maybe that's the last thing she actually ate. Or maybe her husband was eating that, or is eating that, or maybe she eating that in jail. Kind of meat with sauce on it. Okay, it says right here that he needed to revamp the husband because he was working too much. Most of the time this card come out because you need to work more. Get what I'm saying? But he is working too much. See, I got to turn cards around with them. I got to turn it around. He's working too much. Get what God's saying? He need to revamp. Drop some of them hours because he's trying to bring in the dough for this lady, for his wife, to keep her happy. But all the time he neglecting his child. Because his little ones, the little ones was, they was fine. Because the wife was going to make sure they was fine. It was his biggest one, Emani, that was getting a neglect here. That lady, her stepmother, cared less about. And he didn't either because he stayed working all the time, come home and just barely see his daughter or barely talk or whatever was going on. It says right here, pill drop effect. One of them went in treatment while he was in jail, or it happened when he was out. I really think while in jail, one of these parents. Okay, they're just trying to figure out, working hard on how to figure this out. Figure out what. Once Emani was dead, what are we going to do? How are we going to work this out? And she was working hard on it. Because she the brains there. She was the brains, his wife. Help is coming. Help was coming. And help could have came if they called 911. Help is coming. I'm twisting it around. If she would have waited, they would have called. Help was coming. Somebody to just explain what happened. But she knew she couldn't explain because you starved this baby to death. What is to explain? You beat this baby. Right? Stop thinking that you deserve abuse. Her husband needed to stop thinking that he deserved abuse because this lady wasn't real nice to her husband. Right here, this card said. Little Emani, no, she didn't deserve abuse, but they not listening to a child. I think she ran away 1 or 2 times and they dragged her right back to her abusers. Get what I'm saying? Abusers, I say, because if he know different things happening or he see bruises or whatever, you're not doing anything, you part of the problem. Help is coming. That's all they need to do was call 911 to get help. But they didn't. Why? Because she already knew she was up the creek if she called because of what all she been doing to this baby over time. Being selfish and mean and nasty. She needed to stop thinking Emani deserved abuse because she didn't. She was an innocent child. At that time, there was penny pinching. It was real. I don't care if they didn't have a dime. I don't care what they had. You shouldn't have did that to the baby. You miss a couple meals and just have a couple meals for 2 weeks straight and see how they feel to you. Even if that. Okay, it says right here. We grow like plants. And Emani needed to grow like the plant God said she was. She didn't get to grow like the plant because she didn't get her nourishment to grow like the plant God said she was. It was time for her husband to stop, your husband to stop settling for you. But he was settling for you. And he put his child in a position to be abused and murdered by you. He didn't want the help from his mother and his relatives. He wanted to do it on his own, but he wasn't even doing it on his own. He was at work all the time, and his wife had Emani. Jealous, envious, mean person. We grow like plants, and she didn't get this baby a chance to grow like the plant and grow into the butterfly God said this baby was. It was activity on her phone, whatever it was. The phone locked, turned off, or anything like that. I'm going to make this the last one. Okay? Activity was on it. Text messages to her husband. Whatever it was. Is locked, is broke, is dead, is wherever it's at now. But it was activity on it. That night, during that week or whatever, to her, to her family, to her, to her husband, or what was going on. And the last card is, why wouldn't he say no to being molded? Because his, look at God, because his thoughts counted. Get what it's saying? His thoughts counted. Why was he being a walkover right here? She looked down at this man. She disrespected her husband. His thoughts counted, God said, but he didn't even open his mouth. He let this lady wear the pants. Why wouldn't he say no to being molded? She molded him like you do a doggone pan of jello, like you do a biscuits. She molded him. She molded him. He felt like, well, oh, God gave me her. Yeah, I'm going to treat her right. Whatever the Bible said do, I'm going to treat her right. She molded him like you mold biscuits. But God said his thoughts counted. God can't let him slide. Why? Because he's a grown person. And he know right from wrong. He knows it. We can't even say that this lady loved him. He loved this lady, his wife. We can't even say she loved him. Her thing was getting money, being taken care of. Bottom line. I don't see a bunch of love cards at all. That's what I'm saying. He the one crazy in love. Crazy, crazy, crazy in love. I don't know the words, but get what I'm saying. He the one crazy in love. That lady didn't love him. That lady was trying to find somebody to take care of her and let her have it where she live a good life and don't work or whatever. Lady didn't love him. And then his daughter come along. Oh, that messed up her plan. Something has to change. Oh, no. Live your good life behind bars where you at. Live your good life. And I hope somebody show you how it feel not to eat for a week. If they haven't done it already. At least you're going to have it better. You'll have it better than Emani. Emani didn't have nothing probably for weeks. At least you'll have something. Because leave it up to my grandson. He'd be saying, well, you can be without food for 2 weeks, Grandma. So, yeah, you'll be all right. You'll be in better shape than she was. He's sitting there not even noticing his child the whole time, that his child getting smaller and smaller. You didn't cut the child's hair off and everything for whatever selfish reasons. You didn't cut a hair off. You going to sit there and take away from her grandmother and her family members because you don't want them butting in your business. And he not even standing up no kind of way, stopping anything. Just following behind what you say because the Bible told him or whatever. See, the Bible can ruin a lot of people. You following behind what the Bible say and have yourself in a bunch of trouble. You sitting there and doing all kind of dumb stuff because the Bible said whatever the Bible said. The Bible tell you to go kill whoever it is. You going to go do that? But it's not going to tell you to go kill somebody. So, but it says certain things in the Bible. And people just go overboard with things. You sit there and you just didn't use your common sense. And you're supposed to use your common sense. So when you don't use your common sense, God hold you accountable. Because God knows you got common sense. You ran to work constantly and left your baby in the hands of this enemy, this woman that didn't want your child nowhere around. And I'm quite sure when you was in the presence of your wife and your daughter, you could see how your wife treated your child and you just act like, what they say, turn a blind eye. That's why you got to be held accountable too, because you sit there and you allowed this stuff. And then you try to get rid of your child like your child was garbage. You ain't even think yourself that your child deserved a decent funeral. You worrying about at that point you going to jail. You should want to go to jail. You should be saying you deserve to go to jail. Or for you even thinking about getting rid of your baby. You know, that way. But no, you so crazy in love with this lady who wasn't crazy in love with you. You think she was. She wasn't. She just was after your pockets. She wanted you to take care of her because you was a good catch. Bars in church, you know how ladies is, they grabbing people because, no, you grabbed her because you feel like, oh, God giving me a wife. No, God didn't give you her. You grabbed that devil, because that was a devil. You grabbed that serpent. God didn't give you that serpent, that devil. You grabbed that devil and brought that devil around your child. And this what happened to your baby. But you ain't have connection with your child anyway. I don't mean your child living with you. You didn't have a connection with your child, because if you did, there's nowhere in the world You could have settled for that lady saying whatever she said and went with that bull and not call 911. Like I said, I'm a woman. If I was a man, I'm not a man, but if I was a man, she would got about at least 3 smacks out of me. She wouldn't get beat up. She'd get at least 3 smacks out of me if I was a man. Oh no, she gonna tell me the truth. And then after that, I would call 911. But first of all, I'm not a man. Even if I was a woman, she's still gonna get some smacks out of me, because you ain't gonna sit there and tell me no mess like that. You want to tell me the truth. What happened? And we calling 911. But I'm not going to allow people to do, I wouldn't allow people to do anything they want to do, to my children. I wouldn't even allow no bull like that. But you knew nothing about what was happening. Well, you say you don't, but you did, because you was there sometimes and you saw how your wife was treating your baby, your child. You just went on with it because you figured, oh, well, it ain't that bad. But yeah, it was that bad, because see what happened to your child, being nonchalant. I'm talking out to you right now, protective services, social services, whoever you are, any place like that. When you hear about a child being abused or any complaint, go check it out. Stop putting things on hold. Stop leaving children with these parents that's abusive. You won't give them to the grandparents or somebody else. You keep trying to keep them there with whoever it is. And this is what we got right here. Somebody smile, and that lady will sit there and smile like she sweet as pie. But then you look at her inside that courtroom and you see that she the devil in disguise. Look at her at the trial. You can see that lady is a demon. Lady is a devil. That child had to deal with that. She didn't pick on somebody her own size. She was picking on a child that couldn't do but so much because she is a little girl. It's sad. I feel sorry for children when they had to deal with people like this. I really do. But then, like I said, he didn't care about his child, and she didn't either. So the baby was losing every step of the way because she didn't have nobody in that home that cared about her. Her own flesh and blood treated her like garbage. So his wife felt like she was garbage, and he just confirmed it when he sit there and put his child in the trash can. I don't want to talk about it no more because I get myself in a stinky kind of mood somewhat. So I got to keep myself together, because I don't like when people hurt children and abuse children. I don't like it. I don't care if you're the parent or who you are. I don't care who you are. I say I don't care if you're King Kong. I don't care who you are. I don't like people abusing kids. Okay? So let's just leave that alone. So I just wanted to do one because I heard God say her name this morning to me while I was laying down. Okay? You're in a safe and happy place finally, with spirit, with universe, with God. God is going to take care of you, Emani. And God is going to make sure that they pay the full price through man's law and through spiritual law, because God is going to deal with these people spiritually.